Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. Excuse me. If you have never been born again, let me recommend you start with our Welcome Everyone video. I'll post a link to that video in the description box of this video. Also post a link to the video that starts this series if you're new to it and would like to watch the videos in order from the beginning. Okay, today we are at chapter 4, verse 1. When therefore the Lord knew how the Pharisees had heard that Jesus made and baptized more disciples than John, though Jesus himself baptized not, but his disciples. Okay, the Pharisees, they were an influential sect of scholars that push for strict following of the law of Moses. And they taught that to the public. And it seems maybe they were very popular with the public. The public listened to them. So the Pharisees, seems they're the ones who should have recognized that Jesus was their Messiah. In the last chapter, Nicodemus realized Jesus was of God, it says, but there was a lot he didn't understand. And they wanted a Messiah who would come in and get rid of the Romans for them, who were ruling over everybody, almost everywhere. Instead of accepting Jesus as their Messiah, they're worried he is taking power away from them. And recognizing the truth would be a real inconvenience to them and their way of life and the privileges they had. So they developed a kind of JDS, Jesus derangement syndrome. Yeah, that's right. They are spiritually blind to the truth where we read this. And just like when we are scoffed at now, we're the ones we're in the light. But some things never change in the world. The next verses after this track Jesus' movements. If they would have done their jobs instead of obsessing over the gains Jesus was making among the people, things would have been a lot better for them and everyone else. But that's why we're going to be raptured soon, because Jesus has got to make it right in the time of Jacob's trouble, which is the tribulation, and the rapture must occur before the tribulation. Okay, verse 5. Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. Jesus, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus saith unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria to him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Jesus answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman saith to him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with. The well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water. Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Jesus answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Okay, the water is that he's talking about is a spiritual water. I'm sure Jesus could take anything and turn it into a salvation message. Winning souls, it takes a lot of repetition and different approaches to win souls. Because we humans, we're just naturally dense in our resistance to Jesus. So again, if you're like that, you're not sure you've ever been born again, and you're just maybe Christian in name only, it'd be a great thing to immediately go to that Welcome Everyone video that I have a link to. Okay, let's go to verse 25 and see something really remarkable. The woman saith unto him, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Jesus said unto her, I that speak unto thee am he. And upon this came his disciples and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou? Or why talkest thou with her? Well, they probably got tired of being wrong all the time. But here you have a woman who figured out who Jesus was in short order. What can I say? Those Pharisees, they're just nasty in a way. And the disciples were in shock that Jesus was talking with a woman, being a woman and a Samaritan, just checking two boxes there, and needed the details about what was being said. The woman then left her water pot in verse 28 and went her way into the city and saith to the men, Come, see a man which told me all things that ever I did. Is not this the Christ? So let me ask you, can one lowly woman make a difference in the world? Well, we'll see what happens. Jesus was teaching about evangelism in the next verses. That is where he was saying that the fields were white into harvest. If you've ever lived near any wheat fields, you'll see that, and maybe some other crops, you will see they turn from like golden when they're getting ripe to just more of a white when it is ready to harvest. And after that, you have to get them when they're like that. You can't wait beyond that, I don't believe. Everything's going to fall off the stalks. But this tells us Jesus was getting the disciples ready for what was going to happen next. Verse 39, And many of the Samaritans of that city believed on him for the saying of the woman, which testified, He told me all that ever I did. So when the Samaritans were come unto him, they besought him, and he would tarry with them, and he abode there 2 days. And many more believed because of his own word. And saith unto the woman, Now we believe, not because thy saying, for we have heard him ourselves, and know that this is indeed the Christ, the Savior of the world. There's probably some good jokes in there, but we'll just skip that. Verse 43, for after 2 days he departed thence and went into Galilee. For Jesus himself testified that a prophet hath no honor in his own country. Well, that right there is something many of you listening right now can relate to, although we're not prophets. And when you tell your family about Jesus, they are far less interested than if you were a total stranger. And they're probably still not that interested. But us saying it, they might remember it longer, and which will come in real useful if they recall it during the tribulation. I could add some personal things to prove that, but we'll just skip that too. The rest of the chapter tells us of Jesus performing a healing miracle. They say that if you make it, you can fix it. And he was there for all creation. So it sounds true here also. Okay, just a note for everyone. This just occurred to me. If anything ever happens to this channel, God willing, we will relocate to Rumble. Okay, until next time or in the air, may God bless you, my dearly beloved.